Yeah, so what happens is all the audience are invited to Jay Gatsby's party. So it's easier to feel like you're arriving at someone's party than you are to the theatre. We learn loads of rules about going to the theatre, that you sit down in rows, in the dark, and face one way for 2.5 hours, be polite, and leave again. Whereas when we go around to people's houses, we arrive, we chat, we have a drink, we have a snack, we sit down, we chat to people, we move around their house. It's those rules. That's the rules we're using. So it works much more like you're arriving at a social occasion than at a traditional theatre. And what will happen is that the audience arrive at Jay Gatsby's party, the show will start, and then they get invited into loads of different scenes and to lots of different things happening around the set. So your journey through the show will be entirely different to your friend's journey or other people who are journeying through the show. And that's really exciting. But we know that whichever way you journey through, it makes perfect sense and you get a pretty thrilling experience across the whole evening. So The Great Gatsby works really well because a lot of it is to do with a party. So being able to invite an audience to arrive at one of Jay Gatsby's legendary parties is a really nice invitation and a really exciting world for an audience to step into. Then all the narratives that happen around that are all centred around that idea of having a party. So it's a very kind of neat invitation for an audience to arrive to.
And I suppose the biggest decisions that we had to make was the book is quite framed from Nick's perspective. So actually our show is framed from each character's perspective, so you get to find out why they've made the decisions, why they're doing the things that they do, and the audience can ask questions of them and find out firsthand as well, which makes it more exciting, makes it more live as well, I think.
Well, what's exciting about an immersive version of any show, I think, is that the audience are in the world. So the design is, I like to think of the design as another character as well, because you're not just watching it and separated from it, you're part of it, you get to explore it.
And I think the reason that Gatsby works so well is because it's that you can associate with so many of the characters, and it's exciting to be part of that world. You feel like you're going into a world you don't know, but when you get into the world you immediately understand why these people feel the way they do and you understand why you're there. So I think that's partly why it's working as well.
It's really popular. I'm always amazed that we still get audiences every single week. When we first went into one of the versions in the old warehouse in London, I think we originally thought it was going to run for 6 or 10 weeks, and it ended up on for a number of years. So, and now we've gone to this new venue, the audience capacity has increased. We can now have over 200 people a night.
Yes, exactly.
100%.
Understand, all the character, all the questions, all the decisions, all the reasons why. And also be able to command a whole room of 200 people and make them stop talking so that you can be heard. To take 50 people somewhere with you, to know where you're going next, to know if you've slowed down in your scene, to know that you need to pick up, to get to be somewhere at the right time.
And you also have to be able to hold a lot of things in your brain at the same time. So you have to be able to know all your lines and all your dialogue. Also, if an audience asks you a question, you have to know all the different ways you can answer, whereas in this you need to know everything so that you can never be put off balance, or if an audience asks you something, you're always able to respond in the most useful way.